became a teenage national bodybuilding champion at 19. And the story of Jay Cutler started.
It does, and not eat enough, sufficient amount of calories on a continuous basis, so.
Transfer. Lifting weights, I kind of sat and watched and learned, and at the time it was just magazines. So I would pick up scrap magazines at the gym.
Finisher in the 2003 Olympia, Jay Cutler.
Who was your pick? I'm not picking, so.
Concrete to bodybuilding. Hey, have you ever heard of Jay Cutler, the 4-time Mr. Olympia champ? Man, his journey from the concrete business to bodybuilding stardom is one for the books. It's like a real-life Rocky story, but instead of punching meat in a freezer, he was pumping iron in the gym. So Jay's fascination with the world of muscles and bodybuilding started when he stumbled upon a magazine featuring Chris Dickerson, a former Mr. Olympia. You know how those chance encounters can change your life? Well, this was one of those moments for Jay. It was like a light bulb went off in his head and he thought, I want a body like that. Now the thing is, Jay didn't have it easy. He had a tough family situation on his plate and he was grinding away in a concrete job that must have been backbreaking. But he wasn't about to let any of that stop him from chasing his dream of becoming a pro bodybuilder. At just 18 years old, he made the leap and hit the gym with a vengeance. Here's the crazy part. Jay didn't have a fancy coach or a training plan laid out for him. Nope, he basically learned the ropes by watching what others were doing in the gym. And let me tell you, not everyone there had it right. But Jay, he was like a sponge soaking up knowledge. He was determined.
It's literally, I sit in the kitchen and I scream to him, hey. Alarm went off, 6-7 times before I got up to eat it. I got up and ate about 3.
You marvel over like superheroes and you want to look like, Superman or whatever. So I was always intrigued by the muscle.
It does, and not eat enough, sufficient amount of calories on a continuous basis, so.
Now, those early days in bodybuilding weren't a walk in the park. Jay put himself through grueling training sessions that would leave most of us in tears. I mean, the guy's dedication was off the charts, and he had to figure out the whole nutrition game too, which is no joke. Speaking of nutrition, let me tell you about Jay's eating habits. This guy didn't mess around. He knew that to build those massive muscles, he had to fuel his body right. So he'd chow down on some serious meals. His breakfast, for instance, was legendary. 20 egg whites, whole eggs, oatmeal, and who knows what else. I mean, that's more eggs than most of us eat in a week. But you know what? All that eating and hard work paid off. Jay transformed himself from a regular athletic dude into a bodybuilding sensation. He went from lifting bags of concrete to lifting championship trophies. It's like he turned his passion into his profession, and he did it against all odds. Jay Cutler's story is a reminder that if you've got a dream, you can't let anything stand in your way. He didn't have the perfect circumstances, but he had heart, determination, and a love for bodybuilding that drove him to the top. So the next time you're facing a tough challenge, think of Jay Cutler, and remember that with enough grit and a few dozen eggs, you can conquer anything.
Respect for Ronnie, but people say this guy is unbeatable, and I don't agree with that. Everyone's beatable on a certain.
Okay, you have to eat on a diet, and you can't eat. Everyone cuts processed foods, and they eat.
It's not like we're operating a huge operation over here. I mean, I'm running it out of my house and my garage.
Plain potatoes and that kind of stuff. I can't do it.
Participate in a lot of the weekend events because I was working after school.
The importance of nutrition. One of the things that really set Jay Cutler apart in the bodybuilding world was his deep knowledge of nutrition. I mean, the guy was like a scientist when it came to what he put into his body. It was a big part of what made him such a successful bodybuilder. When Jay first started his journey in bodybuilding, he faced a bit of a challenge in the nutrition department. I mean, who wouldn't, right? Figuring out what to eat to fuel those intense workouts and build muscle effectively can be a real puzzle. But Jay, he was up for the challenge. Now, here's the thing. Jay didn't have an unlimited budget to spend on fancy supplements and gourmet meals. He had to be smart about it. So he carefully planned out his diet, and the two big players in his nutrition game were protein and carbs. He was all about those. I kid you not, Jay was packing in some serious numbers when it came to these macros. We're talking up to a whopping 1,000 grams of carbohydrates and 300 to 400 grams of protein every single day. And he didn't just gobble it all up in 3 big meals. Nope, he spread that goodness out across 6 to 8 meals throughout the day. That's dedication right there.
high fiber, it burns. It doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't hit my body hard enough.
When are you gonna go out and shoot him?
Where is he? He's in Dubai, isn't he?
Oh yeah, but I mean, he was coming back, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Carbs a little bit as we get into the last few weeks and really get the body trimmed down, and you know, you guys will see that transformation.
But you know why he did it, right? It was all about those gains. All those calories and nutrients were like fuel for his muscles and his gym performance. It's like putting premium gas in a high-performance sports car. Jay knew what his body needed to excel. Now here's another nugget of wisdom from Jay Cutler. Timing is everything. He was all about strategically scheduling his meals around his training sessions. He'd have a meal about an hour before hitting the gym, and then another one right after. He believed that these time windows were like golden opportunities to supercharge muscle growth and speed up recovery. And you know what? He was onto something there. Now, when it comes to supplements, Jay had an interesting take on it. Sure, he acknowledged their usefulness, but he was all about getting his nutrition from whole foods. He thought that if you're eating enough of the right stuff, supplements might not even be necessary. It's like he had this belief in the power of real, wholesome nutrition. So here's the deal. Jay Cutler's understanding of nutrition was like his secret weapon. It wasn't just about lifting weights. It was about what he put in his body that made all the difference. He knew that food wasn't just fuel, it was the building blocks of muscle and strength. And that, my friends, was a big part of what made him a bodybuilding legend. His meticulous planning, his focus on the right nutrients, and his perfect timing were all part of the recipe for his success. Jay Cutler wasn't just lifting weights, he was lifting his nutrition game to the next level, and it paid off big time.
Became a teenage national bodybuilding champion at 19, and the story of Jay Cutler started.
My favorite product in the world right there.
Business and the business is now. I mean, we have no time for fun.
Like, remember I used to wear the big, baggy, frumpy. Yeah.
Started working at the age of 11. We actually had a concrete business.
Training philosophy. Jay Cutler's training philosophy is centered around the basics of bodybuilding. He firmly believes that sticking to fundamental exercises is crucial for building a well-rounded and impressive physique. His early training regimen included exercises like squats, deadlifts, shoulder presses, and rows, primarily using barbells and dumbbells. Cutler's dedication to these core exercises led to impressive strength gains. At just 19 years old, he was squatting 700 pounds and bench pressing 500 pounds for 12 repetitions. He and his training partners embraced the idea that pushing themselves to their limits, often to the point of physical discomfort, was essential for progress.
So who am I rooting for the Olympia is the question.
Oh, I don't know.
Transfer.
But now living here in Las Vegas, Iron Jay Cutler.
While acknowledging the value of specialized equipment and isolation exercises, Cutler emphasizes the importance of not straying too far from the basics. He believes that these foundational movements are critical for building a solid foundation of strength and muscle mass, setting the stage for more specialized training as needed.
Just using a fat burner year-round. Pre-workouts and protein, yeah, of course, you can use those year-round.
Second most prestige title in bodybuilding, and I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada.
We rely on other people, and it's impossible to do that, so we try to do everything, on our own.
Lifting weights, I kind of sat and watched and learned, and at the time it was just magazines, so I would pick up scrap magazines at the gym.
Jay Cutler's competitive journey. Jay Cutler's competitive journey in bodybuilding was marked by perseverance and determination. After several attempts, he earned his professional bodybuilding card and entered the pro circuit. However, it was his rivalry with bodybuilding legend Ronnie Coleman that defined much of his career. Despite finishing second to Ronnie Coleman in several Mr. Olympia competitions, Cutler never lost his determination to claim the title. He described 2009 as a pivotal year when he revamped his training approach and support team. This dedication paid off as he went on to win the Mr. Olympia title in 2006, marking a turning point in his career.
Particular about dress codes, and Ronnie would walk in and his veins were, he was 300, we were 300 pounds,
How much it costs? It costs $35 to send a damn poster.
Ronnie Coleman!
Ronnie Coleman!
Mr. Olympia!
I think it's an advantage, if you want to do things right, you gotta have the advantage, right?
The rivalry between Cutler and Coleman was legendary in the bodybuilding world, reminiscent of the iconic rivalries of earlier eras. Their intense competition and mutual respect for each other pushed both athletes to their limits and elevated the sport's profile.
Finisher in the 2003 Olympia, Jay Cutler.
If I saw any leg equipment in there, I would do every leg machine, every chest machine, every shoulder machine.
A turkey sandwich with some cheese on there. You know, I like cheese, so.
I had a decent physique, athletic physique, but no one really wanted to give me the advice.
Life beyond bodybuilding. After retiring from professional bodybuilding, Jay Cutler transitioned into a new phase of his career and life. He ventured into the supplement industry and began promoting fitness events, particularly within the National Physique Committee.
For me, the amount of calories I can eat is just, it's off the textbook.
Who was your pick? I'm not picking, so.
Cutler's involvement in these areas allowed him to stay closely connected to the sport he loved while sharing his expertise with others. Cutler also embraced social media as a platform to engage with fans and share his experiences and knowledge. He continued to train regularly, although his fitness goals shifted from competitive bodybuilding to maintaining overall health and fitness. Despite no longer being in the competitive arena, he remained active in the fitness community, often participating in seminars and events.
Said that I have no choice, that's what they choose. The gym right now, today is going to be back day. I can't eat oatmeal and egg whites and fish and...
Throughout his post-retirement journey, Jay Cutler demonstrated a deep passion for bodybuilding and a commitment to giving back to the sport and its enthusiasts. That's all for this video, folks. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in our next video.